Hi guys, this is Dormouse03, and this is The Evil Within, Akumu difficulty, continuing chapter 2. And so there was a checkpoint right back there. Clearly I had died, and several times. And when you do, you come back right where this video started off. And so if you immediately kind of sneak over here to the left, you can start the pattern that I will show you of killing these enemies. So this involves some memorization of, where the enemies are on the map, and, some skill with how to take them out and how to improvise when things go south. And I'm going to show you, as best I can, the best way that I found to do this section here. Because this section right here, I'm not going to lie to you, this is difficult, and it will cause some frustration for you if you are not used to games that are as punishing as this one. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over here around this house, and there are a couple of bear traps. And you want to disarm as many of the traps as you can find, because for one, they are precious parts for your crossbow, and for two, that means you won't step in them and die. So I'm hiding around the edge of this house, and this is my problem number one with the sneaking mechanics of this game. Sometimes Sebastian will get into a spot where it's just so friggin' hard to see, and you seem to have very little control of the camera, like depending on where he decides, how he decides to position his butt. So, I wish that was a little bit different, but there you go. So that guy that comes and patrols around, if you hide around the corner there, you can wait for him to turn around, and he gets a knife in the back of the face. And then, there's a syringe that's, unnecessary, but we're going to pick it up anyway. Then there's this guy here. He will come up to this window, but he will not look out of it. So he cannot see you if you're on the side of it right here. And then when he turns around, you're going to go through the window. You have to hit A to mantle through. And then you're going to sneak kill him. And so far, things are going very, very well. We still have our torch. We've taken out 3 of the enemies on this map and disarmed a couple of the traps, which is fan-friggin-tastic. And we still have a torch from the first enemy that we killed at the very beginning here. And so now I'm going to come around here to the left. There is another trap right here, and there's going to be a couple of enemies patrolling out in front of this trap. So you can just kind of see them out there walking around, and you'd want to try to not get their attention just yet, because if you do get their attention, they will run through the trap right there and kill at least one of them, which is good, but I want to kill them and get the trap part. Because, as I keep saying, trap parts are really important. So I'm going to disarm the trap right here. And then I know that there are enemies to the left over there that get up once you burn some bodies. But I attracted the attention of this one guy. And so I'm going to burn him with the torch. And now there is one other guy out there. And if you can manage to get the attention of one, that's what you want to do, because this section right here is all about dividing and conquering. If you can get them separated by themselves, you can handle them one at a time. If you get mobbed by a few of them at a time, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So that all worked out really well. I picked up that bottle because, bottles can be useful when you don't have anything else. I'm looking behind me there because I want to make sure that I don't attract the attention of the other guy that's back there patrolling. And we're going to sneak kill this guy right here. And so his pattern is kind of irritating because you don't get a big chance. But as soon as he turns like that, you can usually get him. Now, I don't know if he saw me or not, because it doesn't look like he is breaking his pattern. But for sure, when I stood up right then and backed off because I didn't want to get torched, the guy that was outside the building definitely saw me. So now I'm like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. And right now is a perfect example of how the sprint really, really sucks. So if you sprint for too long, Sebastian will start running really slowly. If you sprint for a split second after that, Sebastian will run out of stamina and go into a recovery animation. And so you have to really pay attention to your sprint, not let it run out. And now I'm going to try to bottle this guy. See what he did right there? That was just a stagger. It was not a stun. And so I hit him not quite on the face, apparently, and it just staggered him. It did not stun him, and so I could not do the finishing move on him, which was really bad. So right now, I'm going to do my best to lead him away. I want to get him away from everybody else and back to a position where I have more control. And so I start moving back. I see that he's gone into an animation where he's sort of hunting. So that tells me that he has lost track of me right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide back around this corner. And I'm going to wait for him to turn around. And then I'm going to be able to go get some justice on the back of his head. So if you ever get into a situation like that, this is what you want to do. You want to try to run them back to an area where you've already cleared out all of the other enemies, and you want to try to, wait for them to lose you and then be able to sneak kill them, as they're turning around and walking back to their preset areas. That is the strategy for getting through this section cleanly, because, I know where all of these guys patrol, and in a perfect world, I would be able to go and take them out systematically, one by one, without ever getting spotted and ever having to go into a panic mode. But, I mean, guys, that's unrealistic and very difficult to replicate. And, you might not be able to replicate that, and sometimes the enemies just do weird things. But hopefully the strategies that I'm going to show you, what to do in a best case scenario, and show you what to do when things get rough. So this guy was back in his pattern, and as soon as he, turns the corner there, you can kill him and grab his very, very useful torch, and then we're going to disarm the trap in this room. The torches and hatchets are really great because they are one-hit kills on most things. And so they're going to be really useful for you. You want to definitely pick those up and use them when you need to, which is right now, because there was another guy out there. He saw me. He gets burned to death. Alright, so I believe that's all of the guys that are out patrolling that back area for the moment. There's going to be a couple more that spawn in a little bit later. But now that we've taken care of that crew, we can disarm those 3 bear traps. Don't step in them. You can also use the bear traps to kill enemies. They can get caught in them, and then you can take advantage of that and kill them, but then you don't get the trap parts. So, it's a tricky thing, right? Because you want to be able to get all the stuff that you can, and then on the other hand, you just want to get through it. So, you do what works, guys. You just have to do what works. And that is what I'm showing you right now, is what worked for me. So after I cleaned out that little shack, I'm going to go up here, and you're going to find once again that there are more enemies in this area up here than there were on survival mode. So where there was one torch guy, there are now a torch guy and another regular guy patrolling around. So you want to really be aware of this. And sometimes you can get them in a really good pattern where the regular enemy with no torch goes into that house. And if you can get them on a good pattern here, the guy will go into the house as the torch guy is right here at this corner where I am, and he'll turn around right away, and you'll be able to sneak kill him right away. But unfortunately, at this particular moment, the torch guy had not turned around to go the other way yet when the other guy went into the room. And so I'm sitting here, I'm having to wait, and I'm like, oh my god, hurry up, torch guy. The other guy's going to come out the door, he's going to see me, it's going to be no good, and it's going to waste all that progress I did. The other guy is coming out of the doorway, but I managed to sneaky kill this guy. I pick up his torch, and then I'm like, is this guy going to see me? I'm sort of moving because I'm like, oh my god, maybe he won't see me. And so what I do is I go in this thing, there he is. I was watching the window to see if he was going to follow me, and he did. He saw me. So hopefully you'll get a little bit better pattern than that, or you can always go around the other side and get the torch guy from around to the left of that wall instead of around to the right. I had just always gotten him from around to the right, so that's the pattern that I knew, and that's what I followed, but it kind of backfired on me right there. Disarm this trap. But the good news is that, you know, he had a torch, and I was able to pick it up, and I was able to kill that other guy with it, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to save the torch for the other enemy that's in this house, but it turned out okay. So right here on this couch here is map fragment number 2. You want to pick that up. You want to pick up anything that it drops from these boxes and stuff. And I got real lucky and got a bunch of bullets for my handgun, which is great. So right here at this door, you can smash through that, pick that up, and get the key number 2 really quickly, and then move it out of that room, because there is a dude that will get up, and you don't want to be, you know, in his face. So I run back out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this guy to come after me, wait for him to turn around, and then go and stab the back of his head. So what I wanted to do was get the torch and use it to kill this guy. But, you know, I had to improvise. I had to use the torch to kill the other guy instead. Whereas I usually sneak kill that second guy, and I'm able to use the torch on this third one. But it didn't work out that way, and I had to reverse my plan. So that's just what happens on this mode, guys. You can have a solid strategy, but sometimes things just don't quite work out the way that the way that they have in the past. And so you have to be able to work with what you have, and that's just going to be key to getting through this mode. So now we've killed that third guy. We are almost done with this section of the game, which is great. And we're going to be able to move on. And right now, I actually tried to go back and save, and that's when I realized that the doors shut and you couldn't get back to the save room, because I was like, oh my gosh, I've killed all these guys, I don't want to lose this progress, let me see if I can just go back and save. And the game said, no, you cannot do that. So we're going to continue forward here. And so as you move up toward the crank that ends this section, there's going to be some bodies to burn, So you can burn a couple of them, and then a couple of the other guys get up, and I have to deal with them. But first I'm gonna try to get this trap part. So I was concerned about the angle that I was at right here, probably unnecessarily, but again, right now I'm in grit your teeth mode because I do not want to die anymore on this section, you know, because it's hard and it's a lot of progress to lose. And so I decided it was a little bit safer to come inside the room and get at the trap from the angle in here, but that was probably unnecessary. But there it is, you know, that's what I did. So there we go, we have another trap part, which is excellent. And we're gonna head up for the last 4 enemies on this section. So as you come up here, there are some bodies here, and you can burn and get 2 of them right now with a match. And then there are 2 more guys that get up as you do that. And so once again, I'm going to lead them back through an area where I know that, you know, I've disarmed the traps and stuff, and going to try to do my best to divide these guys and pick them off one by one. So I ran back this way. I wasn't sure how far they were going to follow me, and this game is dark. That's another thing that you need to be aware of. That guy somehow knew that I was around the corner. I don't know if, you know, I was never hidden or what, but he knew that I was back there, and he is intent on eating me. And so I'm trying to just put myself at a good angle to bottle him in the face, and I believe I missed the bottle here, although I may not. Oh no, I got the bottle. Which is good, very good. That is not easy. Bottling them in the face is not easy. And but you know, you'll get good at it, you know, or okay at it as you do more and more of this mode. But now I have a couple of extra bullets, and I noticed that my gun was not on the D-pad like I wanted it to be, so I fixed that. But now we've got the last enemy to this section, the last obstacle in the way here. And I also wanted to go back and check a couple other bodies because, you know, there was stuff that I had missed on them. Sometimes the items that they drop don't show up right away, so you definitely want to do go back and check some of the bodies that you kill, especially if you moved past them pretty quickly. And now this guy is patrolling. He's patrolling for Sebastian. And we're just going to use this little corner of safety here. And he sees me. And the bottle totally misses. That was the one that I remember missing. It just sailed clear over him. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh no, come on dude, don't do this to me. This is the last enemy. You can't get killed. And I mean, that's why you want to put some distance between yourself and the enemy before you try that bottle move. Because if that happens right there where you miss them completely, the time that it takes for them to be on you and eating your face is minuscule. You know? So you really don't want to be throwing the bottle when they're too close to you, because then you will not have time to run away like I did. So in any case, he lost us, and we're able to come and stab the back of his head. Whew! And then after that, you can breathe a sigh of relief because that is the last enemy. You can do a little dance on his corpse, and you can move up here toward the exit. So, that is not easy, folks. I'm sure it did not look easy because there were several things that went bad. But, you know, if it looked easy, it is not. I probably died 5 or 6 times trying to get the pattern and the placement of all of those enemies so that I knew what to expect and whatnot. So there you have it. Checkpoint. And that should make you really, really happy because that means that you have effectively done chapter 2, because nothing here toward the end is gonna kill you. You just have a couple of houses to check. You do want to be sneaking right now because there are a crap load of haunted over to the left, and we do not want to get their attention. We do not want their attention at all, but we do want to come into this building here and pick up that upgrade gel. And nothing in here is breakable, as you see. And then after we clean out that little storage shed, there is another one across on the other side that we want to get to, because that has some more stuff and the last map fragment for this chapter. So we're going to come around here and go and grab that stuff. But yes, chapter 2. Woo! Like every chapter that you clear, or even every section that you clear that you know is difficult, just feels like such an accomplishment, which is great, and which tells me that that I'm playing a difficulty setting. There's your map fragment, PS. That I'm playing a difficulty setting that is, you know, pretty well done. Because if I feel a sense of accomplishment after I have done it and I'm like, yes, I mastered that. I was so pumped after I finished this section. I was like, yeah, man, I did it. That tells me that they did something right, and that it was difficult, and I had to, you know, perfect some strategies and get better at the game and learn things and so forth. But it wasn't too frustrating, you know. So that this chapter right here is an example of this difficulty done right. There is going to be a guy having some lunch here that you can stab in the back of the head, but don't mess around right here, because I was waiting to see if he dropped something, and there was another enemy that comes, because they automatically see you in this part right here. It's just a scripted thing that happens. So you may just want to run by that guy and not even bother with killing him, to be honest. But in any case, that is chapter 2 clear. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that it helped, and I will see you in chapter 3.